Happy birthday, Misty Page!
It's so weird.
You
It's
guys,
so
tonight's
weird.
Vintage Rescue Squad is a celebration. It is a celebration. It is a happy birthday to Misty Pate. Her birthday is actually June 1st.
Yep.
We won't ask how old she is. We don't need to know.
Well,
Oh,
I didn't realize how old I was. I thought I was a year younger than what I actually am. It dawned on me that I am now 47 years. Well,
wow.
on June 1st, I'll be 47. I got 2 more days of being 46.
Look at all of these happy birthdays. Everybody has shown up. You guys, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
guys.
here with us. There are so many. They're just popping off. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Look at this. All of this love is filling the room.
It's
Oh my
so
gosh. You
weird.
guys, our first we're on a tight schedule. We got a lot of people, and I promised everybody I was going to keep a tight schedule. Our first surprise guest, of course, is Arianna with the Withering Cottage, and here she is. It's Jay.
Happy birthday!
It's my Jay girl. Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Aw, you
Misty
guys.
could see the guests at the bottom, and me and Michael made her put post-its.
I got post-it notes, so I can't see who's coming up next.
Mhm. So we're keeping it all a surprise. I will let you know that in the description of the video, it's pretty much blank. And I decided to keep it that way in case inquiring minds got too inquiring. And all of the links for all of our guests, both Instagram and YouTube channels where applicable, they will all be listed in the description of the video after the video has been posted. I wanted to keep it as much of a surprise for everybody that I possibly could.
You guys. Oh,
You
hi, Miss
guys.
Pamela.
Look at everybody's just hello and happy birthday. Now,
Who's that?
listen, I put kind of everybody on the spot this evening. We are going to have 10 other guests, and I do just want to let you know, and we got to give a special shout out and a huge thank you to Arianna for being our pitch hitter this evening. Unfortunately, there was a little toothful accident that happened with our first guest, Sarah. So they're at the emergency dentist right now. They would have loved to have been here, but Ariana graciously agreed to fill in. There's a lot of people out there that I know would have loved to have been a part of the celebration, but time and space was limited. So we worked with, I think we got in a lot of people in a short amount of time.
Nan says she has children older than me. Well, we were just talking. My little baby boy will be 20 next month.
20.
A little baby.
I can't. I just can't.
They
The
keep coming. Happy birthday.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Seriously, it really does. My birthday has always been such a big deal to me. I'm not gonna lie. I love my birthday. My parents always did such a good job when I was little to make sure that, you always feel special on your birthday. And I'm blessed to be married to a man that still does the same thing. We went and had our game night Saturday night, and I've been craving strawberry shortcake, and he spent the day. I worked all day on Saturday, and he cut strawberries, and he had it all in the cooler ready to go to our friend's house for strawberry shortcake. So that was really sweet.
Now, ladies, I have a question for you, and I kind of asked this of everybody for all of our guests this evening. And I don't know if you had time to think about it, Ariana. I really am putting you on the spot, I know. But do you have your first memory of Misty Pate?
Oh my God. This is your life.
Yes, it is. Jay's giving me a solid yes.
I do. So when I was first starting reselling about a year and a half ago, I wasn't selling vintage yet, but I've always loved vintage. So I was doing research on some pieces as I was starting to get into vintage, and I came across Misty's channel, and I started with one video, and then I went to two, and it just kept going. I subscribed, and then I joined the lives, and I was just a lurker for a long time.
Love the lurker.
I started as a lurker and finally got in the chat, and yeah.
I'm so glad that you did. See, Jay, you got into the chat and now
Yeah.
like you are like a known person that like
Yeah.
like people know that you know you're fitting. So that it just took you, just taking that step and just,
Yeah.
bringing yourself into the conversation that, it's just, I don't know. I'm so glad that you did. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like watching your videos helped me transition into vintage and feel more
Oh, good.
comfortable in the community. So I really, really appreciate that. And I'm very happy to be here. And I'm very happy you're here.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. It's so amazing that the friendships that you can make, just by having a little something in common, that we do. We all love this vintage and antiques and reselling and the trials and tribulations that go along with it, the stresses and the, you know, the financial strain it can be sometimes of running your own business and the time and energy it takes into it. So it's good to have like some people that you can talk to that understand and that know. And so I'm so glad that you took that step and that you've brought yourself into this community.
And I really appreciate the support coming into it. And I definitely feel like you and Michael have really helped. And I feel very welcome, and I'm very happy to be a part of the community, and I'm very happy to consider both of you guys friends now. So
100. Well, Jay, and that's the thing. It is so, I think it's so impactful. And I know that Misty has been, she's excited but hesitant about this evening. It is, of course, it is, I think most of us, it would kind of be like, you're excited, but a little like, oh my God, everybody's going to be talking about me in a good
yeah.
way. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, and I've said this before, even before I had a YouTube channel, is that you work hard because you have a passion, and the passion is the vintage and the antiques, and you're making these videos and you're enjoying it, and you forget the impact that those videos can have on people or where those videos are finding people in the station of their life. And I have seen comment after comment of people saying how meaningful and how appreciative they are. And then to take that and transition that into a business. And from that business, a community has formed. I mean, it is phenomenal to see. And I know she's going to be like, oh, no, no, no. But Misty PATE really was a pioneer in this vintage and antique live selling. She was.
Maybe the vintage and antique live sales, yes, but I mean live sales on YouTube, no. I mean, maybe in the vintage and certainly not, thrifting and antique mall videos. That didn't come from me. That's been around for a long time. But I think sometimes I think that it's a testament to, if you have an idea about something, you just go and you jump in head first. Because I didn't really think much about it. I just thought, I wonder. And then you just kind of try it out, and then it just kind of evolves. And sometimes just taking that risk, if you overthink things sometimes, then you'll overthink things forever.
Yeah, 100%, just like I do.
Thrifter Not Hoarder, happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Well, everyone's saying they're not used to Arianna being so quiet.
I know. Well, I'm gonna.
It's not my night. It's
Arianna, do you have like a first memory of Misty PATE?
Yes, actually, mine is pretty. Well, I think it's pretty cool. Well, I found Misty probably the way most of you did during COVID, when I was cooped up, couldn't get out, couldn't thrift and antique shop, which was my life, still is my life. And so I was looking online for a way to kind of live vicariously through somebody, and I found Misty PATE. And then ever since then, it's just been history. And I was a huge lurker. I never commented. I actually even had a different YouTube, like a different name.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even remember my old name. Someone in the comments, you do?
No, I remember you telling me that, but I don't remember what it was.
But
it was the Withering woman. It was the Withering gal. Yeah. Now she's the Withering woman.
No, but my daughter, I think, was 4, and I had not been away from her ever, not once, not one overnight. And Misty had her pop-up sale, And I told my husband that the first time I wanted to be away from my daughter was to go to Misty's pop-up. I really just wanted to shop her things. I knew she had fantastic things. I wanted to meet her and thank her for getting me out of my funk, which I'm sure she's done for most of us, to be quite honest. So my first meeting of Misty was actually in person. And
There
what?
it is. My life is antique white.
Who remembers
Bree,
that?
of course it was Bree.
No way, Bree. That's my dead name. But no, and my first.
Yeah, I remember that as that name as a customer.
Yeah, because I didn't talk in the chats. I only bought things here and there. But actually, Misty is the one that convinced me to start a channel. I had no thought of ever having a channel. It never crossed my mind. And she just pushed me and told me that I should do it. And, I said, what's the worst that can happen? And then here I am. And not only did I get a channel and meet a bunch of amazing people in the community, but I actually, I'm not going to cry. I actually consider Misty to be a real life friend of mine. Oh, yeah. Because there's been several times when I was upset about something or scared about something, and she talked me down. And there was nothing that she gained from that. She was just there for me, and we weren't even that close then. So she's just as lovely in real life as she is on screen. No, I'm sorry, but true. I was really, I've had some moments where, when my daughter had her surgery, I was really scared. And Misty really talked me down, and she was there for me as a friend, not just as a YouTuber. So I'm super happy to be here to celebrate your birthday. You're one of the best people that I know. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I love you. Oh, my God. PATE. Yes, because I started out when I left my job and started doing this full time. I was selling on Poshmark and Mercari and clothing and anything that I could sell just to justify, leaving my job. And I hated selling clothing. And I'm like, you're trying to think of what I'm going to make a business email, PATE, because I was selling on Poshmark. And now it's because I loathe everything that Poshmark is.
Well, geez. How do you really feel about it?
Be a posh boss. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like selling clothing. Maybe that's why. But now I think on Poshmark you can sell vintage on.
Yeah, you can sell pretty much anything on Poshmark now.
Yeah. But I'm as far as creating YouTube videos, it is very much one of those things where you see other people creating content and you're like, I could do that. I could do that. And it did. I mean, and it took me a year, about 9 months to reach my 1,000 threshold. So, I mean, it seems like it took a lot. Maybe it's just because it was me going through, but it seems like it took me a lot longer to reach that threshold than it does now. Now it seems and I think it's because this community is so gracious and so wonderful to, promote other channels and to get the name out there of other channels. And so I don't know, it just, creating content every day, but it was just kind of fun to do. So if you're on the fence about creating content, just do it.
Yeah.
You have to think too that when you started out, there wasn't a Misty and there wasn't a Michael, and you both are so good at promoting new YouTubers, inviting them onto Vintage Rescue Squad, inviting them onto your Wednesday sales. You are really someone who really supports and lifts up small channels. And when you started, there wasn't somebody to lift you up. So really it is you and Michael that are helping these channels grow so quickly. At least it was the case for me. And I know that is for many others.
It can be kind of a double-edged sword sometimes, because I remember what that's like to try to get your name out there. And, and I've had a lot of people, want to do sales and, and you, at some point you have to be very, very careful once you've built a brand, because you just don't know. And trust me, I know that I've gone through some valuable lessons
Opportunities.
Yes.
Learning
Valuable-
opportunities.
Yes. And you can't trust everybody, and you can't fully commit yourself to everybody. And that can kind of make you feel bad because you do want to help, but at the same time, you kind of have to rein it in a little bit. You have to keep your circle a little smaller than just, letting it all hang out there.
What? Oh, letting it all hang out there.
Well, you know what I mean. Thank you. I'm seeing everybody's comments. Oh, thank you, Brooke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I did. I sold on everything because I needed to justify it. I needed to justify leaving my job. And I think, if you've done, Michael's going through that now, you kind of are like, what can I do? And that was before live sales. That was just strictly eBay, Poshmark, Mercari.
Mm-hmm.
And it.
Now, when you were doing that, you did not have YouTube at the time, is that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was doing YouTube. I was doing hauls right here in my dining room.
Did you what came first, your YouTube channel or the reselling?
The reselling came first, but not, I would say about 6 months or so after I quit my job, I started creating content.
You've been reselling.
How long have I been reselling?
Full time.
Gosh, someone asked me that the other day. I am horrible at remembering years, Someone asked me that the other day, and I want to say I have been reselling full time for 5 years. I want to say 5. I need to sit down and look. I'm sure at some point I probably can do this and see when my first YouTube video was, because I'm kind of curious now. If I can even do that on here. We'll see. Content. Can I sort? Well, I don't think that I can do that on here.
Now, Jay, have you thought of doing? Oh, she's like, oh.
Wait.
Doing YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Misty both have tried to talk me into it a couple times.
I have not not tried to talk you into it.
You brought it up. But
you're capable of doing it.
Yeah, I don't know that my home life and my lifestyle.
Look at your cat. Wait. Look at your cat looking at your hat like, I'm gonna get that hat. Sorry.
Oh, she's obsessed. She's obsessed with me. She keeps trying to kiss my face. But I have thought about it, and I actually did film a couple videos, and I did try to edit them out, but I just don't think that the way that my home life and my schedule is, that it's conducive to a YouTube, at least not right now.
Well, I can see you doing Fenton 101 or
I am looking into Whatnot. So
okay,
maybe that'll be in the future, because I think that'll be a lot easier to do while my kiddo's in school than trying to do everything for YouTube and my eBay full time, because I do reselling full time.
Yes.
So
and
yes, it is Fenton J.
It's Fenton J. And you know what, guys? Not now. This coming Wednesday, I'm having a live show with Daniel Tacky as me. Wait, Mark looked it up. When was it? Oh my gosh!
September of 2018.
2018, September 2018. But look at this. Look at my hair.
That's you?
That's me. Look, camera face, it's all faced the wrong way. I wish it would focus better, but it's not going to.
Yeah. You are so a blonde.
I was born blonde. Oh, wait, look.
Oh, yeah.
That was my Auburn phase. So
I'm a redhead.
Yeah, I was trying real hard. Daniel and I are having a sale this Wednesday, but Jay is going to be selling. We are having a mod sale. So it's going to be Jay and Brigia and Tiger and Enamor. Amie are going to be selling next Wednesday. I'm just going to be moderating. I'm not going to be selling anything. I'm just going to be in the driver's seat. But I'm so excited for that.
On camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're her Wednesday guests, not this week, but next Wednesday.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
But see, and I think that Ariana, just what you were saying, her desire to, and I will say that, truthfully, that same thing was extended to me, and I have seen that, Misty has done that with countless people, is to encourage them to go about this in a way that is professional, and it has people. She's just so encouraging to so many people, just because it's what she thinks she should do. I mean, it is who she is.
I like to see people kind of take risks and just go for it. Just go
Oh,
for it.
she likes to see people. There it is. There it is. She said, I like the danger.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of, I look at it like you could sit and second guess it your whole life until you just go out and just try it and just do it. And you're going to have failures. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, that was horrible. And you're going to go through trials and tribulations, but you're going to, at least at the end of the day, be proud of yourself that you at least tried.
Right.
And you're not going to have any, like when you are, taking your last breath, you're like, well, I didn't make that YouTube video. I always said I was going to. But, just try it. Just try it. So my YouTube or my eBay store it's linked in the description of all my videos. It's really sad is what it is, because I have not posted anything on eBay in such a long time. I just don't have time to. It's Wildflower 812. And actually, it's all going to be changing. I think my whole business, my legal business name is going to be changing soon anyway. So that's something else I need to write on my list of things to do.
That's right, Joanna. There is a lot of time spent wasting of it, thinking of the things or fantasizing about the things.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there are lots of things that I sit and think about too, and you just kind of have to just try. You just kind of have to do it.
Yeah. Better to get something you did do than something you never did.
Right.
For people who are always like, well, I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, I think I'd embarrass myself, or I wouldn't do it right. And what I say to that is when 80 years from now, everybody that watched your videos is no longer going to be here. Like, you should not be embarrassed at all to be yourself or do whatever you want to do, as long as it's not hurting anybody. Because at the end of the day, think of the people that lived 100 years ago that we're showing pictures of selling their, cabinet cards up. Am I going, well, this was Sue. She made a fool of herself at the spelling bee in kindergarten. Everybody laughed at her. They called her Miss Unspelling Bee or whatever.
You're Miss Unspelling Bee, you.
Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. So do what you want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. I'm a huge advocate for that. And if you're worried about making a fool out of yourself, so what if you do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do it on the daily.
Amen to that.
And having birthdays, that's the beauty of getting older, is that you get to the point where you're just like, I don't care. I mean,
exactly.
You do care. I mean, I want to always present myself as, this is still a business for me. This is how I have two kids. Well, I got one kid in college now, one just graduated, but putting my kids through school. And yes, I mean, I have another half. I have Mark, who, works, and, we both can contribute to this household, but I still take my business very, very seriously, and it impacts everything that I do. And I respect my customers, and I hope that they respect me too. And you want them to keep coming back. And if they can count on you, you will. And that's why you have to really take what you do very, very seriously. To me, it isn't a side hustle. It isn't something that I do just out of fun. And there isn't anything wrong with it if you do. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I will say that it can consume you. It does consume me. I very rarely ever take any time off, but you know what? When you love what you do, you feel like you never work a day in your life. And that's kind of where I am right now at this point in my life. And I'm blessed. I love to be able to do what I do. And it's because of the people that come to my live sales and watch my YouTube videos, and that it's creating this life that I'm able to lead, which is a lot of work, but I love doing it. So it's I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Anything in the world?
No.
No. I'm just checking on some things. So we, like I said, you guys, we do have a number of guests coming in. So we are getting close to the final few moments here. We do have some other guests that are arriving. Arianna, Jay,
I love you both.
any parting words?
Just happy birthday and thank you
Aw.
for being such a pillar in the vintage community and being a positive person, because there can be a lot of negativity when it comes down to it. It is a community and there's always good and bad, but it's definitely one of the safest and most positive environments that you could be in.
Thank you so much, Jay. And I appreciate you have been such a tremendous help to me with, manning that Facebook group. I never in a million years would dream that it would be growing to the number that it has. It has surpassed Thrifter, Junker, Vintage, Hunter.
Yeah.
Facebook.
It's 8.3 thousand people.
And Jay and Bree and Amie and Tiger, they are moderators on there too, and so it takes a village, and I just so appreciate you. And Arianna, you just are a bright spot in my day. And this morning I woke up to a little message from Arianna and her daughter singing me happy birthday, so that was just precious.
Aww.
We synchronized. It was
They
delightful.
did.
What? Oh.
They did.
But happy birthday, Misty PATE. I say this pretty much anytime I'm on any of your shows, but you're such an amazing friend to have in my life, but also you're just such a boss babe. And I aspire to...
Am I a posh boss?
You're a posh boss.
She's a boss.
I aspire to be
a posh babe.
as professional and put together as you are. And just thank you for working so hard and for leading the way. And happy birthday, friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
Well, thank you, ladies, for agreeing to be on here. It definitely is appreciated. Thank you, everybody. So, yeah, I think we've got half of our next guests. So I'll tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and pop them on before Arianna and Jay leave, and we'll wait for our fifth guest to arrive. So here we go. We're going to add them into the chat. Who is it going to be? Boom!
Hey, everybody.
It's the bird.
Birthday, Misty. Yay.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Oh,
yay. Yay, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much.
Have we been on live together yet? I don't think so.
Yeah. Huh?
No, Arianna. I don't think with Arianna.
Oh, with Arianna.
Oh, hi. This is my first time meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
I have to open, like right now. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
And Laura, Mary Beth, this is Jay also, and Arianna. Yes.
Hey, Jay. And Michael. Hi, Jay. Michael, thank you for having us for this birthday celebration.
Please, thank you for being with us this evening.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Like I said, there were a lot of hard choices to make. Obviously, we only have 2 hours. I know that there would be a lot more people that most certainly would have agreed to have been on here. So it definitely was some difficult decisions to be made. But Laura and Mary Beth, you were some of the first people I thought of course, to have on.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Of course. Now, ladies, I did ask, but I mean, to put you on the spot, do you guys remember your first memory of Misty? Like, do you recall that first exposure?
This isn't really a first memory as much as it is just a standout point in my life. So in one of our very earliest videos, we referenced Misty in our video. It was very, very, very early. And we were editing our video, and I was trying to say, thanks to Misty, Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter, but I could not get through Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter in my video at all. And I swear I've probably got 30 minutes of blooper on that video of me just failing miserably every single time to say that.
It happens all of the time, and it's so funny because I love. I don't know if she's watching, but Ann Eckhart is one of my. I love her. I watch her, and she's like Thrifter, Junker, Hunter, Vintage. Like, she knows who she is. I'm just like, oh my god! And it is. I really chose a doozy of a name. It's to me, it just rolls off the tongue naturally, but it does take some practice.
But it encapsulates you perfectly, you know.
Okay. I was trying to think of something because,
yeah, but I would say it and get tickled, and then Laura was like, "No, it's this," and then I would try it again, and then we would just both get tickled, and we just couldn't get through it. It was hilarious.
I wish we had that somewhere.
I've got it somewhere.
oh, that would be so great.
That is awesome.
Well, let's see. Gosh, I feel like, Misty's one of the first people we found, so it's hard to go back and pinpoint the very first time I saw her. But I mean, you were still doing eBay, what sold this week on eBay, which I love those. I still like those.
I know, but you know what? Not much has been selling. I mean, like, I couldn't, and I need to do that. And I haven't vlogged in a long time because I sit and think, nobody cares. Whenever I'm vlogging, that's like, I'm always thinking, who cares about this crap? Nobody cares of me walking in the shop. But then I sit and think about, I love watching other people's videos when it's just like I love Anne's videos I watch, and like, it's just whatever you're doing that day. But then when you're creating them, you're like, nobody cares about this. And sometimes I hear Mark's voice like, who cares? Nobody cares.
Everybody in the audience, raise your hand.
They're all like, we care.
I know. There. But that's the thing. I mean, because I care. I love watching that because it's like, we're like, well, okay, at night when you were a little girl, or even now, and you're driving in your car and you're looking out the window, did you ever like look in people's houses? Like, you could look inside their windows as you're driving by? I did. I mean, not like you didn't. You're just like, as you're driving by the car.
No wonder Misty was the lurker. She was.
Yeah. It's like you're just peeping in on somebody else's life for a little bit. And I don't know, there's just something kind of fun about that.
I was looking back, and one of the early ones, it wasn't this one, but one of the early ones was the one where you found the Nora Fleming stuff. And I just about flipped my gourd over that. I mean, that was just like stand out for me, because I was like, I'm going to find some of those. I have not.
There is a funny story with that though too. I bought those at the very last minute when I was checking out, and my mother-in-law has some of those. And so I called her and I said, oh, I got you some more of those little charm things that you put on your plates. And she's like, oh yeah. And then I looked them up and I called her and I said, sorry, I'm selling them. They're like 5, 6, one of them sold for like $1,000 for, it was insane. And so she still tells people.
You sold it?
I sold like 8 or 10 of them.
Yeah, she had like a zippy bag full, and like she posted the thing at the end of the video. I went back and watched it today. It was January of 2020.
Oh.
But there was like, one was 500, one was 250, one was 750.
Like sold for that?
Yes.
Wow.
And like I literally,
like
I could have sold them for more. I could have sold them for more. I kind of was just like, I'll just list them for this. And as soon as I listed them, they sold. And I listed another one, sold. Listed another one, sold. And I was like, well, crap.
Yeah, because you kept increasing the price, right?
Yes, I was like, well, I'm going to go back and change the price then. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's
what
awesome.
was the name of that one?
Huh?
What was the name of that video? I got to watch it now.
Well, if you, I think you can actually search Nora Fleming, but it was like a what sold this week on eBay, and it was January of 2020. It was January 20th of 2020.
Wow.
I'm invested now.
Yeah, all they are is they were retired. They're these and they're not even. I mean, I guess they're vintage. They're not like vintage, like from the 90s. They're these platters, and then you can buy these little charms that you can stick in like a little hole on the side of the platter for like Easter and Christmas, and like you can change your little. And it was crazy. I want to be the kind of person that just has $1,000 to lay out for a little charm to put on my plate.
Yeah, right?
Never. I just couldn't believe it. It was that was, you know, when people ask you what's the thing that you most remember, like your most memorable sale, and that was all will always be mine. Well, at least at this point.
Like a Super Bowl party, and you're like the whole time you're like, don't touch my
Right?
Where's my beads at? The $1,000
don't watch
bead.
it.
Or someone will be stealing it. You're like, I'm gonna pop that off that plate. But yeah, that was crazy. But the newer ones don't sell for as much, but those old ones, those were crazy.
Now there's going to be a huge rush on Nora Fleming.
Well,
Definite needs.
trust me, I look for them. I can't find them again. It's like one thing I'm like, that's the thing that made us really, really look through those bags at the checkout at Goodwill for those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Look at Jay's cat.
I love a good
She's
bag.
being annoying. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I don't know. I'm going to disappear. I'm still here. I'm just checking to see. We have a guest that's MIA.
The shame.
Busted.
Oh, geez, I tell ya.
Also, Misty, you and Mary Beth have birthdays that are close together.
Yes.
So I think it might have been early on that I was watching, and you were opening gifts from people, like as friend mail or whatever, birthday gifts. And I got my idea to get Mary Beth's Mountain Dew earrings from the broken Mountain Dew bottles.
Yes.
You guys are both Mountain Dew fanatics.
I have been this weekend. I have fallen off the wagon. I've been drinking a lot more sodas and stuff, but I've really been doing good on my
Where's
water.
the
But,
circle?
man, I got it. I've been doing, but this weekend I've not done too well with the water. But I have been just drinking one Mountain Dew a day,
Nice.
which
That's
I normally
how it
would drink like
starts.
3. So I mean, it's not like it's, but I need to cut back.
You're doing great.
You
Well,
are.
Arianna, Jay, I don't want to keep you ladies on longer than I don't know if you have plans or anything. You are most certainly welcome to stay. It's totally up to you, but I don't want to, obligate you.
Whatever you guys want.
Oh,
I don't have anything going on.
Okay. I mean, stay. If y'all got to go, you are welcome to stay. I'm down for it.
always obligating me. I'm still trying to find that video.
Yeah, you guys all go back in, watch all my old videos.
And I can't find it.
You can search for the oldest one, watch the first one. You'll see me with. It's horrible. It's a horrible video.
Did you guys fat birds? When I'm just gonna refer to you as fat birds.
Okay, you can.
Laura and Mary Beth. That's more. Did you see when Misty showed her auburn hair?
No.
You just missed it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I missed it.
Let's see if I can find it.
I had red, like auburn hair and red lipstick on, and like I was so pale. It's like I don't know. It's something.
Here you go. Look.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, you look so different.
You look like a totally different person.
No glasses either.
No,
I know.
Who
Really?
is
no
that?
glasses. That's me. You know, I did that
Laura,
one.
bitch is a fraud.
Yeah. I did that. I dyed my hair and then I didn't tell like my students or anything. And they were like, dye it back. Change it back. We don't like it.
I can't picture
It
you.
makes you look old.
Oh,
Oh, they're honest.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
It doesn't feel like
like-
it is.
they'd ask students, they would ask how old you are and stuff. And I'd say, and they're like, you're as old as my mamaw.
burn. Well, Fatbirds, what have you ladies been up to?
Well, we're just getting back in the swing of things. We were out for a while, and so we're hitting the ground running. Most recently, we've gotten accepted to be Whatnot Sellers, so we're trying to figure out to set aside some times to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, the whole shipping thing changes tomorrow. So that's a little bit, or the first on my birthday.
Yeah.
Changes. What's the change?
Happy birthday.
They've changed this shipping, which it was only a matter of time, honestly.
Sure.
I mean, there was no way that as a company that they could continue with these heavier items to each additional purchase be $1. So now it's basically it's calculated, and they have a chart, but honestly, at the end of the day, when you're creating your catalog for Whatnot, weigh your items, allow some room for your box, just like when you're listing on eBay. It's the same kind of concept. So I would still, especially if you're first getting started, which is what I've only had 3 sales. So I mean, on Whatnot, yeah, I've had 3 sales. I'm going to have my 4th one this week. Start with lighter weight items. I mean, your wholesale. I'm not saying start with lightweight items and then do the heavier items, but like start ephemera, salt and pepper shaker, something that's small and lightweight, that to just get you used to what will work best for you, because it's a lot of trial and error, because it's so different than the live sales.
So when you calculate the shipping on Whatnot, since you don't know who your buyer is ahead of time, how do you calculate? Is there a low end and a high end of shipping?
No, they're going to charge your customer based on. They have like a scale of like $4. I don't like their whole, because they're still doing it on like trading card weight and like Funko Pop weight, and so it doesn't really translate into like a swung vase, or you know what I mean. So Whatnot is still going to take a loss on some of the shipping. It's just not going to be as much of a loss. It's basically, there's a chart. So like for each additional purchase, it'll be, depending on this weight, it'll be like a $4 additional fee instead of a $1 additional fee.
Price. You just put in the weight and dimensions.
Yeah. Well, you don't even put in the dimensions. That's the weird thing. You just
that's where they're taking the loss, is because of the dimensions. Because we all know if something it weighs a pound and it fits in a 6x6x6, the rate isn't as much if that pound isn't a 12x12x8.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I can't blame them as a company. I really can't, because they're gonna lose money if they.
I just now figured out today. Like, I've been on there a bunch. Maybe that's making fun of me. She's like, "Good God, you're obsessed with this," but I just figured out today that you can click on the little bitty words that say shipping underneath the price.
Yes.
Yeah.
That are lit up, and you can click on that, and it'll tell you like
what
from your zip code how much.
Yep.
And how much the item weighs, so that you know ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea, so I keep figuring out little things.
Now, not to interrupt our conversation, but our next guest is here with us, so we're gonna pop him up here on the screen really quick. Let's see who it is. Boom!
Oh, Beth.
I made it.
Are you watching a movie?
I was watching Stranger Things.
I was going to ask you, because we talked earlier, and he said, we're going to watch this. We're going to watch. So he just got caught up in the Stranger Things.
Well, a couple things. Did you know
the
that?
new one's out.
What?
The new Stranger Things is out. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, a couple things happened. So I planned to come on right at the right time, and then I forgot there's this thing called time zones.
Oh.
And so there was that. Then my computer turned off because I was saving down a video file, and it like went to sleep, and then I couldn't turn it on. Then my my mouse is dying, and it won't like wake it up. And
Excuses.
I'm just an idiot. That's all.
No, you're not.
But at least I'm here. I found my way.
You made it. Congratulations.
Yeah. Now, Jeffrey, you got to tell everybody what you love about me. I'm waiting.
That's right.
Wow. I didn't hear all the other things, but you know what? You are really loud and vivacious.
That is true.
You said vivacious.
Oh,
wow.
This is supposed to be Misty.
Aaron!
Stella.
Wow, she's the camera. You can hold her.
Aww.
There she is.
Oh my.
There's the real
She
star.
looks like she's drowning in the pool. Okay.
She's like,
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I know. She has arthritis in her little foot.
Oh.
Yeah. No, Michael had mentioned like stories and stuff. And I was trying to think like when the first time is. I remember watching you or seeing you. And it was an auction like video where you're like walking around. I'm like, who is this wacky woman? Like, she's like, I don't know. It was
Wacky.
Yeah.
She's a wacky woman.
Who's this wacky woman?
No, I am loud. And I mean, yeah, that's me. I mean, that was probably even when I was in kindergarten, that was what was written on my report cards is I need to stop talking and pay attention.
But it
I was
works
always out in the
because
hallway. They would make me move. I had teachers that would make me move my entire desk out in the hallway because they'd had enough. Out in the hallway.
I was never that child, shocking.
I was undiagnosed ADHD as a child. So yes, it was rough.
Did they even have ADHD when we were in elementary school? Like, did that even exist?
It wasn't. It wasn't a. I mean, it existed, but
wasn't
it wasn't
just like ADD, or is that something different?
I don't think we had ADD.
Okay.
No, I only remember kids being pulled out of class to go to the high ability group, and that was never me.
Oh. We had hyperactive. They were hyperactive, is what they called them.
Wacky woman. Wacky woman, withering woman. Jeffrey comes up with all the great names for people.
Yeah.
Well.
You know what? I think that's a good point, though, is that paid off for you in the long run. I mean, you being like a natural talker and having a big personality, it lends itself very well to being somebody. I think Bree said it the best way, though, is that you do have a very vivacious, right, personality. I like that word. But I think Bree said it best, is that even though you still come across like the girl next door. So you are immediately approachable.
You have to own it, I think, sometimes. I think that you work with what you have, and if you are a vivacious person, then you own it. I mean, there was a time when I didn't. I mean, we all have that awkward phase where you just were, awkward and you hated everybody and you thought everybody was stupid, and you were just so self-conscious, and then it comes a point in your life where you're just like, I'm just gonna let it go and just be who I am.
Me and Michael were actually talking about that the other day. Like, he was just messing with me, but he was like, "You're so weird. You're so weird." And Marco pulled him back, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so weird." Like,
oh my god. Okay, just as long as we don't get into why.
You know what? I think that being weird is I see it as a positive thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like everybody else.
You know what? I think everybody's secretly weird, though, and the majority of people do their best to hide it and to blend in. That's what it is.
Yeah. There's something very freeing about just being you. Your weirdness, your quirks, your all your idiosyncrasies. I think that there's something.
I mean, even on YouTube, whenever I started, I know that I was like trying to center and not be like too extra. And then eventually like that started going away. People were like, "Are you on drugs? I mean, are you drinking? Are you?" Because I was like, just like not caring anymore about like being like really serious or whatever, or trying to like, you know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, you have to be to do the live sales and stuff too. You have to have some sort of being entertaining as well. So, having a little bit of tacky. Daniel, tacky is me. Daniel, oh my gosh, you're so crazy. You don't blend in. You are fabulous, and you are. I don't see you as blending in. You are wacky and weird in your own way.
And here's the people are not good. There are going to be people that don't like you, anyways.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, would you rather somebody not like you for being somebody you're trying to be, or would you rather somebody not like you for being who you are? Because at the end of the day, it's about yourself. So not everybody's gonna like you anyways. So as long as you're doing what you want to do and what makes you happy, then that's all you can do. You can't change other people's opinions. So just be yourself, and then what everybody else thinks,
Although it's funny though too, because when Jeffrey and I are together, and I joke about this all the time because I think it's hilarious. Whenever Jeffrey and I film videos together, it's so funny because he sometimes will send me screenshots of some comments and people are like, "I miss Barb." It was just me and Jeffrey. Oh, when's Barb coming back? We miss Barb.
Well, because she's such
like that, Misty.
She's just a really good balance though, because like I think you on your own is good, but then I'm kind of, it's like the dichotomy isn't really there because
it's a whole lot of energy.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of energy. I mean, Daniel went shopping with us. Daniel knows what it's like when we're shopping together.
What's that, Daniel?
Yeah, we're everywhere, and I get mad because Jeffrey's running ahead and he's trying to get everything before I do.
We're more competitive. Like Barb is just like, whatever, and but like you and I can't.
We're competitive, but but it's in a fun way. It's in like a lighthearted way. It's like he will.
Oh no, I had to have them put their shanks away. Don't let them lie to you.
He'll point things out.
I saw
to me,
both
and I'll point things out.
Together is an experience.
I would agree.
That's what Daniel said. It's an experience.
Yeah. Especially when Jeffrey forgets to bring his money. And Missy has to pay for his purchases.
Right.
No, but he paid me right back. Yeah, I love Barb. Barb.
She is kind of passive, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It just works because I'm kind of headstrong, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like not all the time.
Hey, Sarah, I hope
I
you're
don't know anything about that.
What are you talking about? Go to bed.
Oh, I love the two of you are just it's such a cool chemistry though too, because you never sometimes know like who is being goofy and who's being serious. Yeah. And like sometimes I think that Mary Beth is the one that's like, Laura, calm down. And then sometimes Laura's like, Mary Beth, stop.
You're like your personalities switch back and forth.
We do.
It's interesting. I think the majority of the time I like for things to go a certain way, and Laura's more just like fly by the seat of her pants. But then every once in a while I'll get like on a roll or something, and that's very true.
Yeah,
it's really great.
It's a great chemistry. It's a great dynamic. You're like each other's wingman.
And you know what's funny though? Like, so Misty doesn't really shop with anybody on the daily, but but if you look at Mark, he's like the complete opposite of her as far as like personalities. So like, there you go. There's your shopping.
Well, and like today's video, and I'm always waiting though too, because Jeffrey gets this all the time because people are like, you're so mean to Aaron. No, he's not. You're so mean to Barb. No, he's really not. That's just like sometimes I think that because I'm waiting on people to say, oh, Mark's just there to carry around all Misty stuff. And it's not really that way.
Really.
No, I mean, but he is like, well, he knows. I mean, I'm filming. I'm basically shopping with one hand. I have the camera in my hand. I'm filming. I'm talking. I've got like 5 things I'm holding and I'm like putting things down, and he just swoops right in and then takes them away. And sometimes just to make it a little bit more interesting, I'll be like, hey, you come and get my stuff. But that's not really how it is. It just makes it to me, it's just kind of funny because he is right there. Stella.
He was gonna attack me.
That's what makes good chemistry though. It's like the yin and the yang. Right, it's great for YouTube content because then it gives people something to identify with, whether you're high energy, whether you're laid back. I saw somebody say introverted, extroverted. I think a lot of it has to do with that though too. So I think it's a nice balance. And if you're the extrovert, then it's like, oh, it's Jeffrey and Misty. If you're the introvert, then it's like Barb and Mark. I think Laura and Mary Beth though, I think that for me, like you guys, your chemistry is like unique to you two. I've said it before and I will say it again. One, because it's real, but it's like you're both like, you have those moments, like you're both the straight man. but you both have those comedic moments, and it works so well
It does.
between the two of you. I mean, it's so easy to see why you're friends.
Well, thanks so much. But I mean, I think it's just because it's because we have so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
You can tell. You can
Yeah.
tell.
And it's funny, you know, that you mentioned, Misty, when people are like, be nice to Mark or be nice to Barb. You know, we get that too, because, you know, I'll say something just like so straight and so dry. I'll be like, Laura. And people are like, gosh, Mary Beth, be nicer. And I'm like, I'm not being mean. It's just
No.
how
You
we
know
are.
what it is? It's because you know who you're talking to, and you're delivering it to that person for that very specific reason. But the problem is, whenever you do a video and people are watching it, they put themselves in either one of two people, and it's either me or Barb, and they can identify with either one. And so I think they internalize it as though like I'm like saying it to them. And then like, so now they're taking their whole life experience and reading it into how I'm delivering it. I'm like, but I didn't tailor that for you.
And
Like,
listen,
that's
Barb
not.
has no problem telling Jeffrey the what for. I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
I mean, she's not just like totally passive, and like it's not just like she'll say no, Jeffrey, that no. I mean, in her own stern way, you know.
Yeah.
But
Like in real life, Misty and Mark are best friends. Jeffrey and Barb are best friends. Mary Beth and Laura are best friends. And me and my mom, because my mom's my
your wingman.
we're best friends. So when you're with your best friend, you can say things like that and jab each other on the shoulder, and that's how the relationship works. But it's hard to communicate that through little snippets in a video. But at the end of the day, they're our best friends, and would they be our best friends if the dynamic really wasn't like a positive one for both? You know what I mean?
True.
So just put it that way. Like, would Laura be right next to Mary Beth if at the end of the day she was awful to her? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Same with Barb, same with Mark.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It is, and it's fun to shop with people, but man, I love shopping by myself.
I do too, because my worst is when I'm shopping with somebody, I'm always speeding ahead. Not me too, because I can, like, I've got it. I've been doing it for so long where I can kind of like robot it, like scan it, like
yes. Especially if it's in a familiar place. If it's in a place that you go to a lot, you know every little nook and cranny. You know where you're like, okay, I'm not even going to look in this booth because nothing ever changed. I mean, you know, and you can film a video in no time at all. But when you're by yourself, you don't have anybody else that's, hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. You know, that kind of stuff. So,
well, listen, I just want to reiterate, if, you know, I told everybody it was 30-minute time slot, so I don't want anybody to feel like that they can't go, but, you know, it's totally up to you guys. But our next two guests are here. So before anybody does leave us, I would love to pull them on screen. And let's just check out who we've got. So, boom. We've got
oh my gosh. What's that hat say?
It's upside down. That was a bag.
Is it?
Oh, heck yeah, it's my birthday.
Well, now we know what
I love it. And I love that you made it PG, Tiger. I appreciate that.
And you guys, we've got somebody else waiting back there. Let's see who it is. Oh, boom.
Cheers, happy birthday.
Oh, wow.
Hey, everybody.
Tiger,
Wow, what a great mug.
Are you in Florida right now?
Yeah. No, I'm in Kentucky.
Wow.
George was at our house yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. I was at their yard sale and I bought something. I bought a couple of things.
He did.
It's so great. I have a huge death pile house. I'm trying to get ready for a sale on the 21st and 2nd, and I'm at their yard sale buying their stuff.
Well, you're going to be at your house?
Yeah. I'm going to do another pop-up / estate / get rid of it. It's going to be a blowout. They're having a big highway sale. The Highway 41 sale is the 21st and 2nd of June. And so it's like 150 miles of yard sale. So I'm kind of in the middle of it.
That's where I first met Jeffrey at your house.
That's where we first all met.
And Mary
I
Beth
think.
and Laura.
Yeah.
That's true. And Patrick.
Yes.
And Patrick.
And Patrick. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that just
I
seems like
know.
yesterday, doesn't it?
Was that like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Isn't that hard to believe?
Yes.
It's been 2 years since we've been to the shed.
Oh, has it?
No, no, you guys made a trip after that, I think.
No,
I thought.
So it was just that one time.
it was just that one time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I thought I had been there recently, though. Maybe not.
I don't think so. I think you're right, though.
I really want to go back down there, though. I really would like to come back down to that area.
Oh, we would love to have you.
Yeah, come on
Yeah.
down.
We need.
In fact, all of you. Hey, anybody within the sound of my voice, come down on the 21st and we'll hang out.
There you go. You heard it. You heard it.
I just have to say something funny about George being at the yard sale. He was like fielding, like pictures, celebrity, spottings or whatever. People like, oh, you're George. And they were getting their picture made with him. It was great.
It was fun.
Well, yeah, that was the first time I met Misty, but
Yeah.
we were talking for a long time before
Oh,
that,
yeah.
too.
We talked for a long time before that, but it was the first time that we met face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Flush.
because Misty first met me on New Year's Eve of 2020. And she met me, but I didn't meet her. And then all of a sudden, and bless you, thank you so much, she said nice things about me. And all of a sudden, I was at a show in Palm Beach, Florida. And all of a sudden, I went from having like 100 subscribers to 1,000. And I'm just like, what happened?
Oh, I mean, I don't remember how I found your video, if it was just in a recommended or what, but I was just like, oh my gosh. And everyone that I talked to, like, I have never seen somebody that can just walk through an antique mall and pick something up, be like, this was created and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, how does he store all that information in his brain? So yeah, your videos just provide so much valuable information to people.
Oh, well,
They're amazing.
I think we all do in our own way. And, I was just watching Jeffrey and Barb, and Jeffrey is like, oh, that's a this and that's a that. And that picture in the back is probably Fenton because of the way the stripes are. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah. See, you mean Jeffrey taught you something?
Yes.
Well, I don't think you meant it that way. But
Well, I just met Jeffrey knows a whole lot now, and everybody does. And I just love that. It's so exciting to me that people
But that's
are
just what happens whenever you're doing what you enjoy. You just retain that information so much easier. Like, think back to school,
Yes.
how bad that was. I sucked at school because I didn't like it and I didn't enjoy learning. But whenever you're doing what you enjoy doing every single day, that stuff just stays. So
Yeah, I think so too. There's not really any secret about it. It's just old age and treachery will get you there.
Treachery.
Jeez.
Treachery.
Yeah.
George
Well,
has got
everybody
some stories.
Well,
watching people's videos, we all learn so much from one another. And maybe something that doesn't really, like, we didn't even think about with a certain piece, and then somebody mentions it, and then that inspires you to research a little bit more about it, or or to look things up a little bit more, and kind of be on the lookout for certain things. It just makes it fun
And the community at large, though, too.
Yeah.
People that are watching and leaving comments, like,
Yes.
that is such a wealth of information
Yes.
that as a community people bring to the table. It's insane. Like, Jay's a prime example of that, though, too.
Yeah.
It's like a font of this information. You're like,
Yep, she knows her Fenton, and she's so funny because sometimes we're not sales, and if we know Jay's there, we're like, Jay, and then we're like, then she pops in, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Is this colonial blue? I think, but now like colonial blue is in my brain, colonial green in my brain.
I agree, Mother Tucker, about the ephemera. Like, there are certain things that, like, just the excitement that Misty brings to it, and you're like, I guess I'm excited about that too now, because like the excitement, it comes through the screen,
Well,
It's
it is
true.
so exciting. It's so exciting to find these pieces of paper that should be all but destroyed after 100 years or 100.
I remember, like, you were selling, I don't know, it was like a lot of advertising stuff. And I remember Marco pulling you one day. This was a while ago. I was in the estate sale, and I'm like, this is totally, I'm not really that interested in this hardly, but like you kind of have me looking at this now, and I wouldn't normally. And I'm like, what do you think? I'm like, showing her on screen, and she's like, oh, I like this and this, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. So it's just like that.
That's the funnest thing, is going into like a yard sale or an estate sale, and you're going through the basement, you're going through the garage, and you open up the cabinets and you might see all these old oil cans or just clean it with all these cool graphics and stuff on it. And they're worth so much money, and they don't even know about it because it's just sitting in a garage. And that to me is a treasure hunt. That's like a modern day treasure hunt, just like digging through somebody's garage cabinets.
Garages are cool because a lot of times dad hid stuff in the garage that he didn't want the rest of the family to know he had. And you find some really crazy things. I mean, I found guns, I found coins, I found valuable tiles, and yes, a lot of porn.
Yeah. Well, but that can be valuable too.
Yes.
Michael, do you want to show everybody the book that you showed me before we started?
I didn't know.
I mean, just the cover.
I was like, it's not pornographic. No, I found a set of, I don't even know how many, you guys didn't count them, but there is 2, 4, 6, 9. 1928. They are, I mean, it ranges from sexual diseases and abnormalities of adult life, a compassionate marriage, sex and family through the ages, sex and society, sexual education of young women, of young men, diseases and problems of old age. Yeah, I mean, 1928.
Michael says he's gonna do a series of videos where he's gonna read all those books.
Oh, that's great.
Wow. See, but that's the weird, obscure things that is so fun, and it's just so fun to find. I would have fell on the floor if I found those.
Yeah, me too. The only thing I found, and it's just a little risque and slightly sexist, I was going through postcards. I was hoping to find a nice birthday postcard to hold up and say happy birthday, but the only thing I could find that was even vaguely close was this. And it's the guy at the auction saying, no, I'm not interested in the watch. I'm bidding on the blonde, and the blonde looks so much like Misty, I just had to show you.
Well.
I take that as a compliment, George.
Hey, I think George would agree with me. Misty has, I just think that just to add on to that, she has really brought all the kitschy stuff into popularity. You know what I mean? Like I knew about that. My mom, if you guys don't know out there, my mom has been in business for, ever since she was little. Her mother started an antique store. So, but anyway, she doesn't like that kind of stuff. She doesn't find any value in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was never taught to look for it or notice it or anything like that. And she was watching one of Misty's sales early on with me, and she's like, what? You are buying that stuff? Yeah. I have no idea. Like, I don't get it.
There's a whole lot of weird people out there that just like, they're like, you're a vintage maximalist and you just like all of this tacky, horrible faced, made in Japan.
Think how much fun people were having, though. I mean, they went through, in the Depression, they needed happy faces to get them through. And in the war, they needed happy faces. And the Pixies come along, like the ones Jeffrey just bought. And then boom, it's after the war. And it's like, yay, the war's over. And we're all having kids. And we want fun stuff that kids can enjoy. And it's just going to be fun all the time. And it's just exuberant, and it shows. And I've always loved that stuff. And I remember people just shaking their head at things like that I would buy. And it's so fun to see everybody getting into it now.
Well, it's fun to have things on and I love having things in my home that might make people a little uncomfortable with your house.
Well, if you ever go to Aaron's dad's house, you can look at the coffee table and see an old Playboy. That's how he makes people uncomfortable.
I mean, I kind of like that about that.
And he's like early 80s, so it's very weird.
That's awesome.
Same one? Or is it like, does he get a subscription of them? Or is
He
it
has
like
an entire collection of Playboy downstairs in the wood paneled, like it's different.
but I mean, that was an investment. If he has the entire, I mean, you know.
Oh yeah,
He's a big collector of stuff.
Wow.
that's cool. Yeah, I have a friend who has a medicine cabinet. Well, she has a lot of guests over. She's an antique dealer, and she's really one of these friendly people too. And if she gets to know you, she'll invite you to stay at her house if you're in town to do a show, and it's great. Well, she had this one person come over who was like snooping through her medicine cabinet, and she caught them. So after that, she took all her medicine, put it in her room, and started collecting like the most horrible things that you could imagine. Old patent medicine, things that would kill you, things of delicate feminine nature, laxative bottles, the whole thing. And now when people open up her cabinet, they see all this old crazy stuff. So she's like, I don't know what they think I've got wrong with me, but
I love that. I love that. I had a whole collection of laxative tins, and you know, with everything, it goes through a phase. But yeah, I'm always looking for like vintage feminine hygiene and like old. I have like Nebutol bottles with like the old label on it. But again, it's those things that you find in someone's bathroom or their garage or their junk drawer. Those are kind of where you can find some of those really cool, weird treasures.
Misty, that reminds me. Did you ever get that vintage douche I sent you?
I did it to my bathroom right now.
I just thought about it, you know.
Yep.
She showed it on video, Arianna. It's in one of her videos.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Arianna. I just got a box of that, and I was wondering whether I should put it on or not. You've inspired me.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have that stuff. And I have a couple prescription douche bottles, which is like that. If you need a prescription, you must have really had some fun.
Now, not like the applicators, okay? It's just we're fine. It's fine.
Yeah. It's nothing like that's gross or anything.
Nothing used.
I mean, we got to draw the line somewhere.
Right.
Michael's face.
Tiger is being very appropriate overly now.
Isn't that cool though that we have 6, 7, 8 different resellers on screen right now, and each of us has a very different style in a very specific way, like a very certain style of things that we sell. So isn't that what
you guys think that you have a style?
Huh?
Do you do?
Think
I don't.
styles? Yeah.
I don't really think about it, but I think it takes a secondary observer to like.
I think I know what every single person on the screen style is.
That's what I was gonna say. I could go and name each person's.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna, but I could.
Yeah.
Well, you are putting it out there, Arianna.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay, so Michael Todd brings a lot of high-end bohemian.
Thank you.
Item, you know, glass, top notch, porcelain, all the fine things. Misty is the queen of kitsch. We all know the woman can get kitsch. Of course, she dabbles in glass and other fine things.
A little bit, yeah.
But kitsch is really her forte. I am Victorian.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a Victorian way. Jeffrey is the higher end vintage, like ivy patterns, like floral appliques, Jeff eggs, like the
flamingos.
The finer of the vintage porcelains.
Pretty stuff.
Finds just screams mid-century glass. That's just mid-century glass all the way. Jay,
It's literally shouting from behind them.
Queen of Fenton.
Queen of Fenton
does a lot of the more like
pottery.
Macabre's not the word. Like unique
pottery.
Yeah, like more obscure pottery pieces, harder to find, like things like Mexican pottery, just more unique things like that. And then George just does everything because he's a big fat know-it-all.
What is your style around your house?
I used to, my style at home is actually kind of like yours. I have rattan furniture. I like flamingos. I like Floridiana. I mean, I do collect some cameo glass, but actually more modern, like Pilgrim glass, because I met the woman who did it. And oh gosh, I mean, you know, a lot of that sort of stuff. I like mid-century art from the Northwest because that's where I'm from originally. And you know, so at home it's kind of more focused. But yeah, the rest of my life, you're absolutely right. You know, when I started doing antique shows, I had my thing that I did. And I would say almost up until I started taking consignments. And part of the reason I started doing it is because people would not be able to have an estate sale and they'd have this interesting stuff. And I'm like, well, it's not really my role, but that's a great collection and I can learn something about it. And it was a great way to stretch myself. And then YouTube has really done that because I watch you guys and what you sell. And all of a sudden I'm looking at that kind of thing that maybe I never noticed before, plus all the things I used to, plus the next thing down the road. And it makes me, you know, instead of going to a show and doing it and going home, now I'm walking around and really seeing what other people are doing. So it's just so hard to choose. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar. My selling style and my personal style are very opposite ends of the spectrum. I sell a lot of glass. I sell a lot of Fenton. I sell a lot of the more like elegant styles. But that's not my personal style at all.
Yeah.
My personal style aligns more with Arianna's, where my house is very like Victorian farmhouse.
Yes.
Essentially.
Well, and Jay comes from like an agricultural background. I mean, that's what she studied in school. So I mean, she likes her paper. She loves her ephemera and her antique books.
Yeah, that's what's back. That's what's back here.
So you guys, we have got two special guests joining us. I was about to ask, but apparently StreamYard is letting me know.
Well, let me pop off. So let somebody.
Okay.
She's gonna pop off.
Pop up. Well, I can't hit the leave thing. You're gonna have to kick me out. But I had so much fun and happy birthday, Misty.
Okay.
That way someone can take my spot.
Thank you, Arianna. Thank you,
Arianna.
Bye. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Arianna, peace out, girl. Jay, peace out, lady. Thank you again. Okay. So we've got two people joining us. Let's see who they are. Now, these guys are definitely surprises. Let's get them in here. Boom. There's one.
Happy birthday, Misty.
What? Are you okay?
How's the tooth?
Yes, let's not talk about it. I had an emergency, a medical emergency about 2 hours ago. I reapplied my makeup and here I am. Yay!
Hey, I know. I was trying to figure out why everybody was looking at us, but it's because we were wearing these stupid things.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
You know that we wouldn't miss this. Come hell or high water, we would be here. So
you are a trooper. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bless
You're feeling better now, lady? You're feeling adjusted? The shock of it all is wearing off?
Yes. I'm out of pain, so that's good. Yay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
You can ask Misty. I mean, when that never happened to me before, I was freaking out.
Yes.
She was like, calm down. I was like,
I was in so much pain when it happened, and literally it broke off, like half of my tooth broke off. And so, we went to the emergency dentist about an hour ago, and I have a temporary, and I'm going to have a crown. Woo woo.
Oh, bless your heart. I would rather give birth than sit in the dentist chair.
You know, my dad is a dentist. I grew up like, so it doesn't phase me, but when there's your tooth and there it is. So it was creepy and gross and painful, but here I am, and I'm so honored to be here, and someone else is here too.
BK!
Hi, Misty. You know I wouldn't miss your birthday.
And Dirty Cupid.
Hi, Dirty Cupid. How you doing?
Dirty Cupid doesn't say much, but I like your tree, BK.
Misty, would you like a birthday spanking?
Yes.
oh.
I want to show you my Christmas tree. Do you see it?
It's big and bushy, BK. I love it.
It's a bushy one. She needs a trim. I've been missing you, Blondie. Yes. Happy birthday.
Thank you, BK.
You're a pretty lady. I would like to come to Indiana and give you some kisses.
I'll see you in July.
You damn right you will. Kisses. He's a mess. I don't know. He showed up and he wanted to say hi, so I was here for it.
I love BK. BK
Well,
is belligerent Cupid, if you don't know already, and he just causes all kinds of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And Dirty Cupid doesn't say much. He just kind of groans in the corner.
Yeah. Well,
just
we found
a regular night here, Jamie.
Yeah, you walked into just normalcy right now.
Jamie had her first whatnot sale today. Jamie,
Yeah.
She you know what, she did it. Blake he was there helping. I popped on for a little bit, but
she rocked it
good. And your first one's always where you're figuring it out, but you'll learn it and it'll get better and better.
Oh, she was a lot smoother than my first one. I was impressed.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Is Dino there to help you with it, George?
Yes, and I'm going to do it again in probably week after this, and you'll be here to help me again. And this time, I will get to be in front of the camera, and he'll do all the hard part that screwed me up so bad the first 2 times.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. It's different than the YouTube live sales, but it's always a good idea for your first couple ones to have somebody to help you until you can kind of figure out how to navigate it. And then once you figure out how to navigate it, then you're fine doing it on your own.
Well, everybody liked it. They were on. They enjoyed Jamie's sale today.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, well, Christmas, what a great category.
Right.
You can never go wrong with that.
Right.
She had 85 people. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
she did
awesome,
great.
Jeannie. Good.
And for being a holiday too. So I mean, she did great.
Excellent.
Did great.
Now, Sarah, David, do you guys have do you have distinct different memories, or do you kind of have the collective memory?
No, I definitely have a different memory of how I got to know Misty.
Oh.
So I'll let you know, fill you in on mine. So we were sitting, I think I was in the living room and watching South Park or something, and Sarah was in the office doing some ISN work at the time. And I kept on hearing her giggle and laugh hysterically. And I knew there were no Instagram sales that she was watching. I was like, what is she doing? It was a Monday night, and it was VRS. And she was laughing at Misty, and I heard Misty cracking up and kind of making a voice. And I was like, that sounds like Sarah. Is Sarah washing herself? Because she never does. And I was like, oh, that's... And so it just bizarro Sarah,
Sarah doesn't watch herself ever.
Yeah, so I got to know you guys through being acquaintances of, Sarah, married to Sarah. And, you guys were in the house, and I just fell in love with you guys.
Sarah and I are so much alike. It's uncanny, these similarities between the two of us, that we have the same glasses and we didn't even know.
No, 2 pairs of the same glasses, and neither one of us tried to do it. It's just how it worked out. A lot of synchronicities. I think that I first heard about you guys from not the Cult of Vintage. That's Michael. Hello. Vintage Freak 32, Stephanie.
Okay.
Yeah. She was like, oh, you have to check out Michael and Misty and da-da-da. So I did. And I remember watching you guys, I think it was VRS too. And just being like, oh, they're so cool. I want to be like them. Misty and I end up having the same goofy little voices for critters. And we're just kind of I'm rarely serious unless I'm really, serious. And, I was like, oh, these might be my people, because you have that tribe that you mesh with in a very vintage way. And then maybe you mesh in a deeper level too. So, it's been honestly a true pleasure getting to know all of you all. And Misty, you have been such an inspiration to me personally. I look to you as a mentor and a friend.
We get to meet face to face in July, and I just cannot wait. I'm so excited for it. And
me too. We're gonna have so much fun.
I can't wait to just sit on the back patio and look at the mountains.
Yeah,
that is what we're gonna do.
I agree. Everybody wants to know, and I know, Tiger, you already direct replied to Jay. I see in the comments. But people are really curious, Tiger. Do you have that first memory or idea or concept of being introduced to Misty?
I don't remember. I know I was I think it was about 3 years ago when doing we all were watching YouTube.
Yeah.
And I kind of veered away from all my travel YouTubers because I was into the travels and the trip reports and stuff, but no one was traveling anymore. And I ended up same thing. I think I found Crazy Lamp Lady, and
Yeah.
somehow I think YouTube suggested Misty, and I know that was way early when there was such a thing as when she was still doing the numbered sale, the early sales and the shipping videos. I just remember the shipping video. I was so mesmerized by that whole shipping video. It's like, wow.
I need to do another one, but they're so time consuming to do those because I'm just trying to get shipping done.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it started. And I mean, of course, then last September when Misty had a pop up, I just decided, hey, it's my birthday weekend. I may as well take a trip. And she invited me to hang out in the evening for dinner with everybody else. It was really cool. And
we had a birthday party for Tiger.
Uh-huh.
I know, and I had to share a cake with Jeffrey, and you get all these people. Wait, once I get 20,000 subs, maybe then, yeah. No, that was awesome. I mean, that was just, and sorry, Jeffrey, that I took away from your cake there, but that was also really cool because Jeffrey was there. It's like, wow, I mean, Jeffrey too, and Aaron and Barb, and I get to share a cake with them of all people.
That was a fun
share a
weekend.
cake with Jeffrey.
Yeah, and then we had to like run away from all the bees that were trying to attack us at the restaurant.
Oh God, yes, the bees.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
Bees
was exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun weekend. But man, that weekend stressed me out. I just don't know that I have it in me to do another one. It just was so much work. It was so much work and so much stress. And it's like, this is why I don't have a shop anymore because I don't want to worry about getting it all together and putting it all together.
Right.
So I'll have to think of something else to do as far as that
Will
goes.
do though, because your sales. I mean, you put those sales together like like it's nothing. I'm doing one sale a week, and it takes me forever to figure out what I'm gonna sell next.
Well, I think for me with having the ADHD, it gives me like having a set task, and then I think that's why I really like it because it's a whole completion. It's something that I do complete. It's not something that I half do and then it's looking at me. It's like something that keeps me on task and it's a full completion. And so that it's a good thing for my mentality, I think, too, just to have that completion of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
have another guest joining us really quick. Hold on to it real quick, Jeffrey. Let's pop them in here. It is the one, the only. I don't know what I'm doing. It's Bree.
Hey. Happy birthday. Thank you, Bree. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Bree's another one that just helps so much.
He does.
I mean, you guys, I could not having a core group of people that can just make sure that everything, like Mary Beth, I like things to go just I like it to be a certain way. And to know that I don't have to like stop and start and stop and start, then I know that I've got people that are there in the chat to take care of things that need to be taken care of. And we don't have to just stop and go and stop and go. And I like that whole streamline because Michael and I like to keep it. We like to keep
it. We are so on point. Stop with this. They're
well,
like,
you guys
oh my God,
communicate so well.
So quick. I can't believe it. It was like, woo.
We don't ever go off the rails.
Never.
On point. But we go off the rails, but we come back on the rails. So.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, yeah.
Do I don't know if anybody mentioned this earlier, and I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but it's kind of the way that I perceived it all. But I feel like I have to give all the credit for all of the YouTube live sales in the vintage community to Misty because
absolutely,
I don't think anybody was doing it. And then I know she was like always, even my Beanie Baby sale, my very first. I think you were like, just have a sale, just have a sale. That's my memory. But like, yeah, and you do that to everybody. You're like, just
She
do
does.
it.
She pushes us to do things that we're not sure we want to do, but she's sure.
Yeah.
Well,
there we go.
Absolutely true.
Now, I've had people tell me that, that they don't like that I promote, people having sales because it takes money out of their pocket. But see, I don't see it that way. I see it as we're all selling different things. Yeah. I mean, like George can attest to this too. If I'm going to have an antique store, I want to have 5 antique stores in my area. I want them all to be on there because it's just, they're going to shop hop. They're going to come to all of them. And we all have different things. It's not like it's a cookie cutter mold. We all have different items. We all have different personalities. We all have different, ways of doing things. And so it is very much a melting pot. And I love that.
Well, speaking of a melting pot, we're going to add one more ingredient to the mix. I'm really curious to see how this layout goes. Our last guest of the evening is with us. Let's add her in. Boom!
Amie! I'm here. Hello. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I was going to be able to look at Amie in her eyeballs, and it didn't work out in Ohio.
You know what, Misty? The flea market's aggression. You got to go, girl. You got to go. It's okay. They were good. You found some good stuff, so I totally understand.
I said, did you make it out of Indiana yet?
And me too. No. I was in Ohio, but on the wrong end.
Yep. I know. I was messaging Michael and Jeffrey, and I'm like, we're not even going to make it to the flea market. We're not even going to make it. There's so many good yard sales.
Before she jumped on, I was going to actually say I'm going to leave.
Okay.
And that'll bring your little thing all pretty because we're all so small anyway.
Yeah. Well,
Jeffrey, I will talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, you got a card coming in the mail.
Oh, thank you. Are you leaving tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to be flying out tomorrow. I'm so scared.
Where are you going?
Airplanes have been scaring me lately. I don't know why. I think I have panic disorder or something. I'm going to Florida.
Oh, back to Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
So you make sure you let me know.
What?
I was just saying I have an airplane anxiety too, so I understand.
Well, and the last time I got on a plane, I drank coffee ahead of time. Will you stop that? Very loud. I'm sure it's very loud. And so the coffee, and then I was like a jittery mess on the plane, and there was a lot of turbulence. People were crying in the back. I was wanting to hyperventilate between my legs. It was not good.
Drink wine before you fly.
It can only be better.
Yeah,
Wine?
true.
I don't mind flying. I don't like the idea of knowing that, like, God forbid something goes wrong and I'm stuck there knowing that the end is coming at me at like 300 miles an hour. That's my thing. It's not the flying, it's the...
I mean, obviously, like, if it's going to happen, I'm going to crash. Okay, fine. But it's not fast. You know it for however long it takes to go down.
Well, I don't think we should talk about it since you're
On that
flying.
note, Jeffrey...
Exactly.
Anyway, good vibes. Good vibes and goodbye.
That you let me know when you land and when you are in Florida and show me the palm trees. Okay?
Okay.
Have you ever watched Walk?
These travels.
Bye, Jeffrey.
Bye.
Jeffrey.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, we're gonna pop off of here too, Michael.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, Mary Beth.
Guys.
Have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much coming. I really do. Thank you so much.
I would just want to say one thing before we hop off, Misty. There's absolutely no question in my mind that we wouldn't have the channel we have today if that hadn't been for you and your support and everything that you do for this community. So we appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for just being you.
Awesome. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Mary Beth.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
I have to agree with that. You know, I'm relatively new to YouTube and I'm approaching 2,000 followers, which I'm very excited about. And I don't think that I could have done that as quickly if I didn't have, the support of you guys. And it's been really a nice journey and a nice transition. I started on Insta and here we are. And I enjoy our Sunday nights so much. I look forward to Sunday nights. I just know that it's going to be our best stuff. We're going to have a good time and it's a solid sale. And I so appreciate the community that you've built, Misty, because I know what hard work that is. And it shows all of the time and effort and love that you put into your packages, your customers, the whole experience. You know, it's good stuff. And I have known a lot of resellers in the last 8 years that I've been doing this, and not everybody does that. And so your special touch is what makes you special.
Well, I mean, the special touches also helps me stay motivated to do it. It makes it fun for me. Yeah. So if I can make it, I have to make it fun for me. I have to make it exciting for me. And it is. I mean, every little piece of tool. And if you do the tool and stuff on your packages, you know what I mean. It does like give you a little bit of joy to know that when your customer receives your item, it's going to bring a smile to their face, and it's going to just make them their day, especially when their day maybe isn't that great. You know, they're going to open up a box and it'll just be something that maybe they bought for themselves, and it's like a little gift to themselves. It doesn't take much to do that. And it makes it fun for me. And I like seeking the little things to put on top, and I don't know. It's just fun. I like it.
I picked stuff up from a viewer who was consigning it with me. And when I went in his house, he had ordered a box from Misty, and we were looking for boxes to pack things in. And I reached for it, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm keeping that one."
Oh my God. That's so cute. Oh, that's so sweet. That just makes it all worthwhile. Sometimes it's going to keep my box.
So, well, okay. Switching gears. So, Bree and Amie, I'm curious as to how you ladies, do you remember your first memories of that moment of discovery with everybody's Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter, their favorite Thrifter, Junker, Vintage?
Well, for me, it was at the start of COVID, and I was actually on YouTube looking for music videos, and it suggested thrifting videos. And so I messaged my daughters and I said, "Oh my God, on YouTube, you can go to Goodwill and look at the shelves with people. They actually put that on YouTube." Because I didn't understand that YouTube was interactive. And my boys used to watch it all the time. And I remember one time we were on Highway 99. We stopped at, what's it called? Pea Soup Anderson. And these YouTubers walked in that my daughter followed, and she got so excited. And we went up and we talked to them. They were so gracious. And my youngest daughter actually has a tattoo of one of her favorite YouTubers. Don't expect me to do that. I was like, Tiger, you can ask to see it when you see her on Friday.
Yeah.
But my daughters were like, this is the first time that I have found a community where we have common interests. You know, usually it's the other parents at school, it's your coworkers, it's not necessarily what you're interested in. And so this has just been wonderful for me.
Oh, great.
And
this in September surprised us all.
Yes.
That was the best.
Yeah, when Bree walked in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that pop-up was wonderful. Oh, gosh, we met so many people there. And Misty is the same in person as she is, you know, on YouTube. Just wonderful and gracious and welcoming. And I don't know that Misty knows this, but about 6 years ago, I was very ill and hospitalized and ended up somewhat disabled. I'll never be the way I was before, but with your encouragement, you know, I'm starting to believe in myself again. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, that makes me that really touches me. Thank you so much. I am so glad that, you know, just kind of just making these silly little videos sometimes, and just it can help make somebody smile or uplift somebody's day. So that it, as much of a chore as it is sometimes to stay up late and get it edited and that kind of stuff, it really does make it worth it. So I thank you. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Amie, what about you?
Okay, so I was thinking about this all day today. I was trying to get my brain. Well, Michael said we had to be prepared, so I had to think about it.
Michael put us in line, Misty. He was like,
"You
guys."
was not.
I like order, and Michael keeps it in order, and I like that.
Okay, so I believe it was last summer sometime. Sarah was going to be on Misty's channel for a sale, and Sarah said, you got to go watch some of Misty's videos. You'll really like Misty. And so the one that I remember specifically clicking on, it was called I Am Not a Monster. And it was a haul video, and I started watching it, and she had kits, she had tins, she had vintage children's books, she had a Halloween and Christmas. I was like, oh my gosh, she likes all the same stuff I do. Right. And she was taking things in the video and giving them voices like, hey, I'm going to hold your mail. And it was like, okay, I get you, Misty. I get you.
Yep. We're all part of the club.
Yeah. And, I had a sale sometime last summer with Sarah on Instagram, and Misty popped in, and everybody was freaking out that Misty was there. And then Misty bought something from me, and I was like, oh, I get to send Misty Happy Mail. Yeah. And so that was really fun to be able to send. I think you bought like an animal coffee can or something like that for me.
Yes. I remember that.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, this is so fun. I get to send Misty. I love sending Happy Mail anyway, but I made it a little extra special to send to Misty. So.
And sometimes though too, it is when people do, and I just did I impromptu went live Saturday, I think, on YouTube, which by the way, they have changed that whole going live on YouTube, like directly on the link. You used to put your camera in landscape, and now you have to do it in portrait mode.
Really?
Yeah, it was throwing me off. Yeah, you have to be in. It's weird. So, people, I opened up boxes, and it is kind of a weird thing to people send you gifts, and like you let the boxes stack up because I'm always like, okay, when I want to open them and make a video so I can thank people. But I understand because you always like, why do these people send me these things? This is so, I don't know why they would want me to have these things, but it's part of our love language. And if I like to give gifts, I like to send things to people. And so I understand that, but it's still kind of an odd concept that someone just is going to spend like $17 in shipping to, to send me a box. Yeah. But I appreciate it, but it's still just a very weird, it's a weird concept because I don't do myself anything special.
First of all, it's your birthday, so accept the gifts. And secondly, people do things like that because, like you said, it's love language. It's also like, oh, wow, you appreciate what I do and you've brought something to me and I want to give something back. And it was strange to me at first too, but now I take it as just a really nice compliment and it's just really fun.
It is. I feel bad though when the boxes do kind of get stacked up a little bit, but yeah. Lots of generous people in this community for sure.
Yes,
yeah.
Sure.
There are.
Love.
There are.
Well, yeah.
Hi, Val. I see Val.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, Val. Hey, Glass Man.
To me, that's just so much of the fun of this group of people, though. And I always felt it in real world antiquing, and I wasn't sure I was going to feel it in the social media world. In fact, I actually thought it was the opposite of what it is. Like when Bree was saying she didn't realize it was so interactive. Yeah. I have to say that was me too. I was such a neophyte as far as social media. I just thought it was a place to be kind of antisocial. Like, I'm going to show you this, but I'm not going to really show you this. And no, this community, the antique vintage community just doesn't know how to be that way, I think. And it's just great. And yeah, you really have, I mean, without gushing too much, because next year we're going to have to do a roast because this is getting a little saccharine. But
I know.
But
I love that.
You have indeed been really inspirational and so helpful to a whole lot of people. And I've had other YouTubers come to me and say, oh my gosh, she helped me with this. She helped me with that. I asked questions. She let me do a live sale with her so people would know who I was. And you've been super generous with your own talent and time. So we really do appreciate it so much.
To me, it's so fun. I so prefer having a sale with somebody than having it all by myself. It's a little weird going on Whatnot and doing it by yourself because you're so used to having a breather, like a breather moment. And that's the cool thing. I know I would love a roast too. I would love
Okay.
it.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working on it tonight.
And I mean, Misty, I can just hear Jeffrey. That would be like his shining moment if he could do a roast. That would be the best day of his life if he can write a roast on me. But yeah, it's this community is just. I mean, it's a big community, and we all, I think, try to support one another as much as we can. But there are times when things just don't work out, and you have to part ways sometimes, and that's just the way that it is. Not everybody's personalities are going to totally mesh, but I think that in this community people do show a very much mutual respect for one another as a whole, even if their personalities maybe don't align.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a really important part of this community as well.
Well, yeah, we all just, I mean, part of it is, what a great thing to be able to assemble a group of people together where before you even meet each other and before you even maybe watch the person's first video, you already know we have something in common. We enjoy this stuff. And it's, I've always liked being in the community of antique collectors because they're a different breed of cat. I mean, I think it's like 1% of the, we're the 1%. I mean, it's like 1% of the population are really serious collectors, but they get each other, and it just has that wonderful feel to it. So I just love it. The bigger it gets, the better. And the other thing that's nice is, it's one of the few businesses where, I mean, we're all technically competitors, but we all do a different thing. We all have different stuff. I mean, it really isn't. It's like, oh, I don't have it, but I think if you go to that channel, you might find it. Or if you go to that dealer over there.
My husband calls it co-opetition.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what? He's right. And we've had this discussion, there are only so many hours in the day. There are so many live sales. There are so many people that are trying to sell things, and so many people that are just trying to earn a living and create a business for themselves. And it doesn't matter. It to me, and I know some people get so upset if someone's live sale is going beyond their live sale, or it's starting before theirs, or you cannot be that way in this community. This community the people are going to watch who they're going to watch. They're going to come to your live sale for a little bit. They're going to go over to another live sale for a little bit. That's just the way that it is. And so you can't judge your business model on anybody else's time and schedule but your own. And that's just the way that it is. And anybody, I think that being in this community, we can be as cooperative with one another. But at the end of the day, we are all trying to earn a living. Every single one of us are trying to earn a living. And we have to do what works best for us.
And there's room for everybody.
And there's room.
Yep. And that's what's special and unique about this community is when you are like-minded and you're not jealous of your neighbor, but you want them to succeed as much as you want yourself to succeed, whether it's a group sale with your friends and you want to see Michael Zippern go for $400, or, I genuinely care to see, my co-sellers stuff go. And I think when you're of that like mind, like you want to, you enjoy the vintage, you enjoy talking about the vintage, and it's more of a tribe mindset versus me and my business. Now, granted, I've got to pay my bills and I am a full-time reseller, but when you can incorporate into something bigger than yourself, I think that's a really nice place to be, and it's a really nice feeling.
I always go with the adage of be with people who will mention your name in a room full of opportunities. I mean, go for the people that you want in your circle, because they're not only out for themselves, or they're looking out for everybody, the whole community as a whole.
Absolutely.
I do. The one that I often think about, well, I guess there's two, but the major one is Sitting Bull. And he's accredited with saying, as individual fingers, we are easily broken. Yes. Together, we make a mighty fist.
Yep.
Right? So, and that really is the importance of community, whether we are a member, a viewer, subscriber, a buyer, or whether we are a content creator, a reseller. You know, it's easy to feel like you can make it alone. You can make it alone.
Yeah.
But when one thing happens and then another thing happens, you're out there on your own then. You know what I mean? And you don't have the added benefit. And for some people, they're okay with that. And there's nothing, you know. But there is, I think, something to be said about having community, about having a support network, having that encouragement, and never feeling like you are necessarily, we all go through it individually, but you don't have to be alone. You know, there's power to that.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree with that. Yep, absolutely. And we all bring different things to the table. We do. We all bring different things to the table. We all have sales that run very differently. We all, you know, with the whole just in case and not the just in case and the whole this and the whole that. Everybody runs their ship a different way. And that's okay. And I think that just, you know, letting your people know that at your sales how your ship is going to be ran is what's important. And I mean, we all, at the end of the day, this is what we do for a living. This is how we pay our bills, and we have to be able to hold those standards in order to keep our heads above water, because I know that every single one of us on the screen are going out and spending quite a bit of money every weekend on inventory to sell it at. So if I'm spending, you know, $1,000 on a weekend, I got to recoup that money back. I can't hold things for a long period of time. I have to sell the things and ship them out quickly so I can then, you know, have a return on my investment. So that's just kind of how that whole dichotomy works.
Some of you guys may know this, but I don't. Misty, how did you start off into all of this? Like, how did this all start for you? I'm just curious.
How did I start reselling?
Yeah.
I was raised in an antique store. I mean, I've been around antiques. I thought everybody did. This is what everybody's parents did. They all sold antiques. You know, my dad set up an antique booths, and his best friend owned an antique store. So we were there every weekend in the basement. Oh, I'd love to go back in time and look through that basement again as an adult. But, and I just, you know, I never thought that I would be doing this. Not in a million years. And it just, so, you know, like we would inherited a lot of this stuff. And so we just started putting some things on eBay, and then Mark kind of got into it too. We would go out to thrift stores and we would look for things that we could sell on eBay. And it was just kind of a fun hobby that started out for us. But then we started listing more and selling more and selling more. And then I was working and I was like, boy, wouldn't it be great if I could just do this and not have to work? I could just do this. I could just buy things and resell it. And we took that leap, and we haven't looked back since. And then shortly after that's when the YouTube stuff started. And I thought, well, we'll give this a try. And I stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped and started, because you don't see yourself. I also am the type of person that wants results. Like, I wanted to be monetized like the next day. You know?
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So you get kind of discouraged and you're like, I don't want to do this, but you just don't give up.
Yeah. Well, and I will say that that's one thing I can definitely say, that you guys are great mentors to a lot of us in this community, all of us in this community. Yes. And for those that are just starting, you can't look at Misty or Michael and be like, oh, I'm going to do that, and in a month it's going to happen. It takes a long time. It takes, moments where you're like, am I done doing this? I think I'm burnt out. I'm over it. And then you kind of get back into it, and the path to getting to where you are now, Misty, I'm sure has not been easy, but you make it look easy. So
no, it's not been. There's been a lot of adventures. There's been a lot of adventures in this field. I want to point out Daniel. Yes, Daniel and I we talk to each other when we're taking a bath sometimes. But so did Jeffrey and I. So sometimes that's the only
listen, Mark.
Oh, he knows. He knows in
here. He's like, how long have you been with Mark now?
25 4 years.
He knows. Needless to say, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like since the last century.
George, I am 47 on Tuesday. Or Wednesday.
That's wonderful. George, are you doing an appraisal on Misty right now?
No.
I got to turn my head up and then look up a little bit to the side. Right?
There are no comparables.
Aww.
Yep, totally priceless. They broke the mold.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be up here. And I told Michael too when he was talking to us about this. I'm like, I'm just honored to be here because genuinely I do owe a lot to you in motivating me to get my butt on YouTube and make the videos and do the sales and try to stay consistent. And
that's the key.
Nice to have that person to look up to, you know what I mean? And again, and I recognize, just like David said, it's not going to be overnight, you know what I mean? And it certainly hasn't been, but it is worth it. And you made me feel like I could do it.
Right.
And I appreciate that.
The key is just to be consistent. Consistent. If you know that, every Tuesday at 1:00, Misty and Michael have a yard. We have a yard sale.
Oh, Michael, did you know?
And it helps
I wonder what those people were doing out there.
And I am notorious for, I buy new calendars and change them out every 6 months because I get sick of the way that one looks, and I'll rewrite everything in my new calendar and I color coordinate it. And I like that consistency of it and just keeping yourself consistent. And Tiger does his sale. He keeps it consistent every week, and his sales have been doing great. And just, keeping that consistency. Yeah. We got Amie still on Instagram, but Amie is going to be on.
You know what, though, Miss?
I know you have a YouTube channel.
Yes, and I'm slowly adding content to it. But what I wanted to touch on was that for somebody that's just starting out, I've been selling for 8 years, only in the live sale game a little over a year. But I think it helps to have the support system and the people that you can go to ask questions to figure out where you fit, where do you fit in all of this. And I really appreciate you guys really embracing that for me personally. But I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't want to take the risk or they're not ready to take that step. But I just want to encourage you guys to reach out to somebody. And take the step. It's worth it.
Yeah. And you're doing it, Amie. I mean, I've watched you grow so much. And I think that's what's neat about this is we're all offsprings kind of each other. And George has admired for so long.
Yes.
George is getting serious views on her videos too, Amie. You're getting some really serious views on your videos.
I know, which is amazing. I didn't think anybody would even care, but I'm learning that I really like doing the video editing, and I really like filming while I'm shopping, and I really enjoy it. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and watching, and that's really exciting. So I'm not going to stop anytime soon. So
you're doing it, bro. I love it.
Once you get in the swing of it, as you're filming while you're shopping, it gets easier and easier and easier and easier and easier.
Yeah,
and you feel less weird and less weird and less weird, and then you kind of are in the mindset I'm working. So I'm walking around and it's my job. This is what I do. And it's no different than the cashier that works at her job. Only it's just a little bit weirder, but there's no different. You're working.
Yeah.
And
we're having fun doing it too.
There you go.
Yes.
I think
it's not retail.
Right.
Yeah. It's not retail. And, we took the last couple of weeks off and I felt like, it was kind of overwhelming because I needed to really get caught up on a lot of things here in my home. And I did that.
Oh, Lord.
And move things around and what have you. And just having a little time to collect myself and be off screen made me that much more excited to come back. And
you need a breather. You need a refresh.
Yeah.
Well, we are entertaining the idea of possibly moving. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my, how am I going to do that?
Just the thought is overwhelming.
Just box all the stuff up that you want to keep and then just have an indoor yard sale or estate sale And
I'll
I'm moving.
fly in. I'll
Just
fly in
box
for
the
that.
stuff up.
George.
Lock
George
the
is the
room.
estate sale guru.
I have estate sale experience too. Let's do this. Do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
But I don't know how I can't take off work. I don't want to. I can, but I don't
Well,
want
you can film it. That's content.
That is content.
Yep.
You're going to be going through
Like Jocelyn.
stuff and everything, price and everything. You're going to be, and now the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
You're
Yes, Zeno,
filming
locally.
people shop your stuff. Like,
True.
nobody's done that.
No.
No.
But yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't. This is the early stages, but I could be selling my house, selling the shop.
She's done.
Come to Arizona.
No, it's going to be still here in Indiana.
Oh.
Yeah, Mark's got to work still.
Yeah, he can't retire for another 12 years.
12?
Yeah, he keeps our insurance.
I get it. I know. We went down that road until we became completely self-employed. Once upon a time, I worked for AT&T, and David was in a photo lab. That's how he got his start with photography, and then the self-employment bug bit us, and here we are. Yeah. It's awesome, but it's also when you want to take 2 weeks off, you realize, oh, I need to get back to work.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I just want to say, I think this has been a great night. I want to, of course, first and foremost, say happy birthday to Miss Misty PATE. The reason that we are all here this evening, I want to personally thank every single one of you that have been able to come on and have agreed to be a part of the celebration. You guys, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Michael, for organizing it.
I was like, I'm really about to do this, and I might have to this is gonna be like hurting his ass.
For your birthday, Michael, we'll do a roast.
It was so easy. I don't think people would want to roast me.
No, I'd be too scared.
Me too.
I'll take the roast.
The roasted one gets the last word. So
yeah, I'll take the roast. I'll take the roast.
But you guys were literally everybody was so amendable. Everybody was so quick to say yes. I mean, it was everybody. It really was. It was so incredibly easy to do. So. Thank you all so much.
And I just want to say to Mr. Michael Todd that, listen, he is really he is my rock. He is my, gosh, when I'm having, and I feel sometimes bad because
I'm her Jiminy Cricket.
He is my Jiminy Cricket. He is right there. And he talks me off of the ledge. And honestly to God, if it was not for Michael and his friendship with me, things could have been completely different in my journey. He has really been an inspiration to me, and I don't know what I would do without him.
That's
so I love you.
All the love. He's that game changer friend. I love him.
But you know what? But that's the real. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't. So.
I'm gonna make him cry.
No, you're not. I don't know what that is.
And we are going to have a blast on our vacation together with David and Sarah and Amie.
Yes.
Tiger and Bree aren't too far away from Arizona.
Y'all come on now.
Where are you going? Colorado?
Colorado Springs.
I'll be overseas.
When are you going again?
July 21st through the 30th.
21st.
Yeah, pretty big window.
Okay.
George is the
Misty.
Yeah.
I might just turn up. I mean, I don't know whether that's timing right, but I'd love to see it.
Are we thinking about doing an event somewhere, Sarah?
Well, we've talked about that, and I would love to put something together. I talked to Yvonne, Thrifty Rich, about maybe a meet and greet at some point, because I know there's a lot of people that would love to visit with you guys.
I can't wait to meet her too.
Yeah. So, that's something that we can think about. And George, if you want to come, that would be amazing. We're literally just hanging for a week. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'll see how it goes. I'm doing the show out in Portland like 2 weeks before. It might just happen to be right when I'm coming through. So maybe I'll be able to stop and say hi.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. We'll just know that, any of you close, you're welcome to come and visit. And I would love to put together an event where maybe we can have like a social time and visit and have dinner or something that evening. I don't know. We'll
50% off autographs. 15% off the photographs.
Everyone's going to be bringing a hat for Michael to sign.
Yeah.
George, can you sign my vintage things?
Of course.
Double the value.
At least, especially the craft.
Thank you guys so much. You guys have really made this has been a very, very special day. Thank you so much, Michael, for putting all of this together. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
You guys are just so awesome. I'm so blessed to have each and every one of you in my circle.
Well, we feel the same way about you. Yes. And Misty, you have something that will be there tomorrow from me on the way.
I know what it is.
And so does Amie, and so does Mark, your husband.
I do too.
Oh, wow.
You too, David?
I'll tell you.
I even talked to Mark. Yeah.
Mark.
Let's just say you got some new Hot Wheels coming.
Oh, Hot Wheels?
Michael, did you do your surprise?
No, mine got mail.
Yours got mail. Do you want me to do my surprise right now?
Yes.
Lift it up.
Okay. I just happen to have it right here. Okay, so Misty, I made you something.
Oh, good.
It is totally one of a kind. It's totally Misty PATE. I tried to capture your essence and a few things that you love.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull Michael Todd and just show you a little bit.
Ooh, love a cheese.
Ooh, Doodle Dog and Cupid. Oh, that's it. That's the tattoo I want.
Oh, Misty, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
No way.
No, seriously, I've been looking. Give me your Mark.
I know you've been looking through your cutie books.
I love Amie. I love that. It's a Doodle Dog and a Cupid. She made that for me. Yeah. Look at the Doodle Dog and the Cupid.
So it's completely covered with kitsch-tastic plastic flowers. There's a little vintage chenille bee, a mushroom, and of course, I had to do Cupid Doodle Dog and a Cupid on there in the middle.
I love that elusive Doodle Dog you can never find.
Well, Misty picks the tattoo. Mark gets to pick the spot. So I'll be interested to see what
And then George, you're doing the tattoo, right?
I'm getting it.
George is going to do it.
No.
Happy birthday, Misty.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love that.
Amie, that is so sweet. I love it.
I know just where I'm going to put it too.
So good, Amie.
I had a lot of fun trying to think that up. It's very different than my normal wreath, so
really cute.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for being with us this evening. Of course, everybody that is on screen was on screen. Arianna and Laura, Mary Beth, Jeffrey, Jay, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being in the chat with us this evening. As I said at the beginning, and I'll just wrap it up there, that everybody's links will be, oh my gosh, it's going to take a minute. Everybody's links will be in the description of the video momentarily. Again, I want to try to keep it as hush-hush as possible. So thank you all so much. Misty PATE, happy birthday, lady. The last word goes to you. The floor is yours, lady.
I'm floored. This was such a special night. I'll never forget this. Thank you so very much. I love you all.
Happy birthday. We love you.
Thank you guys.
Yay. Alles Gute zum Geburtstag. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Oh, I guess we should. This is the last Vintage Rescue Squad for until July. Until July.
Well,
1st.
until I was filling out my new calendar today that I bought myself.
What's the new?
Well, the first Monday in July is July 4th. It'll be the weekend after.
That would be rough.
Yeah.
Like, is anybody there?
Anyone?
Hello?
So, but Michael, tell them what you're going to be doing in the meantime.
Okay, so for the month of June, every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be having a solo sale for the month of June. So I am excited for that. I haven't had a solo sale in a hot minute, but yeah. So
awesome.
Yeah,
we'll be back for that.
I have a little announcement on Mondays too. So there won't be Vintage Rescue Squad, but there will be at 4 p.m. Eastern. And Amie and I starting our new talk show. We're gonna have a question and answer session. So if you're interested in vintage or handmade or reselling, come hang with us. That's going to be Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to incorporate a little mini sale also. Yeah, it's going to be like 5 items each, really good kitsch, and we're looking forward to it. So that's starting Monday, June 6th at 4 p.m.
Yay.
Cool. Sweet deal. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you all once again. We hope that you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you, guys. And again, happy birthday, Misty Page.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
We'll
Y'all
be
have a
celebrating
good
all
night.
week.
Yeah, oh, I will be.
Mhm.
You know it, Bree. It'll be. I'm not cooking. I'm not. Well, I probably will, but I won't be happy about it.
All the sides.
There you go.
That's what I had sides today.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.